Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel. I'm working hard trying to keep you guys informed with the latest happenings in the world of boxing, and I'm dropping that hotness. Try to get to it quick. Now, I made a video yesterday. Check out that video. I will try to link to it in the description. And you see the title, Andre Ward versus Sergey Kovalev rematch shows a positive sign. Boxing Ego. Again, for more on that, check out the video I did. And there's confirmation that things are headed in the right direction. Right now I'm on Twitter. Let me do a little typing. You know, Adonis is a real piece of shit. I like Kovalev. Kovalev, he's just like a mean fucker. He's like he got a mean streak. Look, Petty, he pinned this tweet that he did in December. Son of Judges was surprised of design. It's very funny. And then he put the crying face. I like his attitude. But this is Crusher Kovalev. Couple days ago, I have signed new memo for rematch, which was sent to me by Rock Nation. And he says, still waiting on Son of Judges to sign it. And then he tags his promoter, Main Events. So he said the memo or the notary or draft or whatever, contract, the first draft, whatever they call it, that was sent from Rock Nation to make the rematch. He's reviewed it, him and his team, and he's waiting on SOJ, as he calls him, Son of Judges, to respond and fill it out. So looks like we're getting close, people. And you guys, I keep it consistent on my channel. I feel Ward won the fight. You guys can get mad, kick and scream. It doesn't give Kovalev his belts back. It was a close fight. And see, this is the thing. You always have to look at what's being said and what's being thrown out there. You listen to me versus listen to some of them, and I'm very, very reasonable. I was at the fight live, and I told you that I thought it was a close fight. Kovalev can box. Kovalev has power. Kovalev has more experience at light heavyweight. Bow, he knocked Andre Ward down with a clean counter, and he caught Ward. But I think the tide of the fight started to change, and I'm going to keep saying that over and over and over again. And I think this was a fight of halves. Just like Terrence Crawford versus Yuriorkis Gamboa. I had Gamboa up 5-6 rounds. But even though that ended in a stoppage, so it's a little bit different, Crawford kicked it up. And for that fight, it's a little bit different because when Crawford did kick it up, it was more impactful. Like Gamboa was more affected by the punches. Kovalev, he's tough, right? He shows he has a chin, and he's mentally strong. He's not like this Victor Ortiz type that's just gonna wilt as soon as the going gets tough. He's built for this. He's a true fighter, right? And he's a big dude. He's a tough dude, and he has heart. So I thought he had a good poker face, and it was what it was. It was a good fight. It was a close fight. Just like Triple G, Danny Jacobs. People are gonna feel different ways about the outcome. Sometimes being at the fight live, you get to see it, and then I watched it back and stuff like that. It was a good fight. It is what it is. But I thought Ward won, and the other thing is, a lot of people are like, robbery. It's a robbery. These fights that are uber close, you never, if you notice, you never really hear me say it was a robbery, because as long as everything checks out, like Canelo Lara, that's a little bit different because Levi Martinez had this way out scorecard, 117 to 111, and that clearly did not indicate the fight we all watched. Whether you had Canelo winning or Lara winning, it was super close. Just like Ward Kovalev was a fight of halves and it was close. But if you look at it, people had it unanimous decision, the 3 judges, but they had Ward winning by like a point, by 1 round. That's fair. That's a fair in that type of fight. You know what I mean? That is fair. And people will, oh, he didn't do enough to beat the champion. Me and Troy King were talking about that. That's kind of a myth. There's nothing in the judging scoring criteria that says you have to go X, Y, and Z. Just the basic rule of thumb is that if you're in someone's backyard and you have to fight them, you have to do a little bit more, or a champion. But there's nothing in the judging scoring criteria that says, hey, you gotta put some stank on it to beat the champion. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing in there that says that. Kovalev, I thought, if you look at the fight, if you were to say, be real with yourself and say one person faded and they started letting the other fight, I would say it was clearly Kovalev. He was the one in the second half that faded a bit. He was still competitive. He was still trying. He was still landing good jabs and some power punches, but ultimately, I don't think we got to see Kovalev do what he normally does with other people because of the level of fighter he was in there with. Neither guy wanted to back down, and that's, again, what happens when you get elite level fights. I keep telling you guys, if you look at all these elite level fights, do you notice a ton of these fights, they never end in an actual knockout? Like these ones that we're going in and like, wow, Kovalev Ward, Canelo Cotto, Danny Jacobs, Triple G. People might get knocked down, if that, but you don't really see many people getting knocked out at the elite level, and that's because the level of competition is so high. Ward is a gold medalist. Kovalev has an amateur pedigree. He has power. He has the right fighter temperament. He can box. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, with all of my analysis, I keep it a buck. I keep it real. It was a close, tight fight. Both guys, I don't really think there was a loser in the sense of either guy's stock dramatically dropped. You know what I mean? People were, oh, Ward was exposed because he got knocked down by a bigger guy. If Kovalev went up to cruiserweight and got dropped once and then rallied back, no one would be saying Kovalev was exposed if he won the fight. You know what I mean? You move up, sometimes you're in there with a good boxer puncher, shit happens. Like, I don't think, I mean, Ward won the fight, so I don't really see this whole he got exposed. He was in there with the puncher, and you got to be careful. And I thought Ward was fighting, he came out, he should have felt Kovalev out a little bit more. Pause. That's what I think. But again, I like Kovalev. I really do. I like his attitude. I like he's like snarky. He's to the point, and he can box. And I told you that. And I call it like I see. I thought the Bernard Hopkins fight, before the fight, the videos are still up. I picked him to beat B-Hop. I knew the outcome because if you look at it, Bernard Hopkins, at that point of his career, it'd been a couple years, a long time removed since the Antonio Tarver performance or the Kelly Pavlik performance. Kovalev is a different animal. He's not like a Tavoris Cloud. And those were the echelon of fighters that B-Hop had been beating of late. B-Butt Shumanov and knocked him down, and guys like Cairo Murat, who later got knocked out by Sullivan Barrera. I rate Kovalev way higher than that in terms of power, in terms of ring IQ, in terms of ability to box. You've seen it. He's in there with the Olympic gold medalist, and some people are arguing Kovalev won. He can box, point blank, period. And I knew B-Hop at an advanced age would lose to Kovalev, and that's what happens. But see, that's actually a good point that I want to bring up too. It worked out to perfection in the B-Hop fight. I didn't give B-Hop one round. I got to watch it again, but I gave Kovalev every single round. I thought he started strong and he finished strong. First round, he knocked down B-Hop, set the tone, and then B-Hop was just kind of tentative, and he knew who he was in there with. In the 12th round, he was melting B-Hop. And I honestly, I don't think B-Hop was the same. He took that long layoff, and then later Joe Smith knocks him out of the ring. And I like Joe Smith. I like his durability, his tenacity. He bounced back from a stoppage loss before, but I don't think he's the level of fighter or has the experience of a Kovalev. And I think, I'm not trying to take anything away from his victory, but I think the Kovalev loss and long layoff had a lot to do with it, in terms of Joe Smith knocking him out of the ring and being the first to stop him, because Kovalev set that impression, you know what I mean? And then B-Hop took a long layoff. That wasn't good to come in with a guy that big who can punch. Again, Joe Smith Jr., to me, he can punch, but he doesn't have the technique and finesse of a Kovalev in terms of the technical boxing ability. And Kovalev kind of softened B-Hop up. But either way, Kovalev, he's a beast. He's a good fighter. And I think part of what his problem was in this particular fight with Ward is it worked to perfection against a 50-year-old Bernard Hopkins, where he showed he can box and outboxed him, because B-Hop wasn't coming with aggression. After he got knocked down, he wasn't, it looked like he was more or less surviving. He didn't know how to approach the situation at his age, and I don't know if he had the power to warrant the true respect of Kovalev. So he almost played it safe, and Kovalev won by a landslide. But I think the adjustment Kovalev should have made with Ward didn't do that. Ward got hurt or knocked down or whatever in the second round, and then he started to bully the bully and start ripping to his body, and in exchanges they were muscling each other around. And to the referee's credit, the referee gave him all the carte blanche to mess around and wrestle in those tussles, and he didn't really intervene. Like, and it was getting a little bit borderline like rough in there, and he allowed that. You know what I mean? Some refs, like maybe a Kenny Bayless, might not have let some of those, like, they were just like, you know what I mean, like manhandling each other and pushing each other down and stuff like that. But the ref that night, I was there, you know what I mean, the ref that night allowed it. And see, I don't think Kovalev is used to that. When he gets guys hurt, they don't usually come back stronger, period. And I think that's what caused the separation with Ward. Kovalev did not make the adjustment. He hurt Ward, and again, he was competitive throughout, but he was not used to a guy standing his ground even being hurt. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is. That's what I really seen from the fight. Either way, it was a good fight, and I'm ready for the rematch. And this will be the ultimate stage to see who can make the best adjustments. Ward obviously wants to prove that this was no robbery. This wasn't a fluke. I could beat this guy even cleaner. And Kovalev wants to do the same exact thing. He wants to say, hey, that was a fluke, and I beat his ass the first time, and I'm going to show you again. Maybe this time knock him out, or whatever the situation is. Good fight, good rematch. I fully support it, and let's get the ball rolling. I'm glad Kovalev signed his part. Ward is the A side because he won. Whether you disagree, you want to cry, kick, and scream, again, that doesn't change Kovalev's now blemished record. It doesn't get his belts back. Let's see what they do in the rematch. And this is going to be potentially like the Castillo fight. You know what I mean? Mayweather-Castillo. Mayweather was in tough. A lot of people said, oh, what? Mayweather lost and Castillo outlanded him. It was a robbery, and same thing. Floyd was like, man, I had a hurt rotator cuff. I held my own. I beat this guy again. And later that year, because they fought early in the year, unlike Kovalev and Ward, they fought in November of last year. But a couple months later, Floyd got the surgery, and then he fought Castillo, and then he beat him clean. Same thing with Maidana. People were saying, oh, it was a draw. Maidana beat you. Floyd was like, okay, I'm going to fight him again, and I'm going to show you. And then he boxed a smarter fight, even though he did get caught in one round. At the end of round 3, I think it was, Maidana caught him. But that's what we get to see from Ward. Is he going to have a Castillo 2, Maidana 2 performance, or is Kovalev going to come out like a raging bull and overwhelm Ward? That's what I want to see, and I want to see who makes the proper adjustments. Like the video, make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off.